if you're not constantly doing something that makes you uncomfortable, then you're falling behind and you don't realize it. But when you're out there like, okay, what's the next uncomfortable step? What's the next uncomfortable conversation? What's the next uncomfortable, hire? What's the next most uncomfortable investment? What's the next? Then you're actually getting ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big believer in life. You're never staying the same, ever. There's no such thing as staying the same, even though it might feel like it just because you're zoomed in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're either falling behind and you don't know it, or maybe you do, or you're getting ahead, but there is no staying the same.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
And we're back.
With another episode of He Said, She Said.
And before we dive into the 3 questions that we used on date night, which were really awesome last night, this is your last warning. Oh my God, who's going to get it? 1 seat left. Notice that if you want to come to our house in mid-October, just a couple weeks away, and do deep strategy on your business with Lori and I and 9 other businesses sitting around our table, looking at 180-degree ocean views, having good meals together, making new relationships with high performers, this is your last chance. Literally 1 seat became available. And so if you want it, you definitely have to go over to chrisharder.me/weekend. Lori, what else do they get besides the strategy?
Okay, one of the coolest features, which if I was on my come up and had this from one of my mentors, I literally would have lost my mind. So you get to be on our podcasts, which they are so, we have such established podcasts. I have a top 25 entrepreneurial Apple podcast. Chris has a massive podcast. And you get to be on them on a shared segment, but you get 20 minutes of that segment to have us ask you questions in your zone of genius and share with our audience about how you're building, what's working, what's not working. And we create these questions with you beforehand. You actually submit questions. So it's not like you're going to be blindsided with questions. This is actually so curated to spotlight you in such an incredible way that you really are an expert in your field. So it's one of the most exciting features. And I'm telling you, the price alone pays for being on these podcasts.
And because we've already done this, we have empirical proof that it gets you business and it gets you new opportunities. Oh my God, I would have given anything to be on 2 shows of this size when I was kind of on my come up a little bit. So if you are a solopreneur, if you have a store, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, because all types of business came to the last one. All types of business are coming to this one. Hit pause right now and go to chrisharder.me/weekend. That's chrisharder.me.me/weekend. It's ready, set, go. Because whichever of you does that right now first actually gets the very last spot, and then they're all sold out. And by the way, we're not doing this anymore this year. Maybe we'll do one next year, but there's no more of these this year. All right. So,
and we only have so many spots around our dining room table.
Yeah.
And they're
if you're ever how come it's only 10 businesses? It's because we sit around our dining room table. We have 10 chairs. Okay. Last night, Lori and I did our typical Friday night date night. And we don't do the same Friday night all the time, but we're usually tired on a Friday, and we usually want to have that local, comfy food feeling. And so there's one of 2 places we'll go on a Friday. It's either a place called Bandera in, Newport Beach here, or it's a place called, actually, I don't want to tell you this name of the sushi place because I don't want anyone to go. It's a tiny hole in the wall neighborhood joint. I'm not going to tell you where it is. It's awesome. But it's your perfect neighborhood sushi joint where you walk in, they yell, hey, and they know you, and the waiters and waitresses know you, and it's the best sushi on the planet. And so anyways, I'm going to gatekeep that one. So we go there last night, and Lori and I have always been very good at asking each other questions. And we've been very good at hey, let's reflect on your week. And you already know that we have the Power 9, which is 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're excited about, 3 things that you're trying to manifest right? We do that in the mornings. But last night in particular, we asked each other 3 questions. They just kind of happened organically, and it led to the best conversations. So we're going to share those 3 questions with you right now because whether it's a date night, whether it is you and some business partners, whether it's you and some people you're trying to get to know, this is the best weekly recap template ever.
I love asking different questions because at the end of the day, there were so many things that happened in Chris's week that I don't know about. Like, even though we go on walks and we ask questions and things like that, we're tired sometimes on our walks. Sometimes we don't talk a lot. And I think it's really important to consistently romanticize your life. I think it's important to romanticize your life, your relationship, the job that you have, the business that you've created, because it doesn't matter what business you guys are thinking of creating or that you are in right now. It all turns into a job if you don't choose to romanticize it and remember that it's fucking awesome that you started it and that you still have it and that you're growing it and that you've put so much effort towards it. And sometimes we just look at it as this week was hard. It's a headache. Oh my God, I'm so challenged right now. So I think it's important to romanticize your life. And you do that through questions. You do that through connecting with other people, obviously through changing your attitude and your perspective and all of those things. But I really think connection questions like this really help you romanticize your life.
So I think you recognize the first one, but the second 2 are pretty awesome. The first one was this. I said, hey, what are 3 wins from the week? We always ask, what are 3 wins at the end of each day? But when you say, hey, what are 3 wins from the week? It forces you to go back and remember some of the awesome things that happened that week that you otherwise don't take inventory of. Yeah. And I'm such a huge believer. Matter of fact, if you're in any of our masterminds, we start every single call out. We're like, all right, share your wins. We're not going to answer any questions. We're not going to have the guests come on. We're not going to do anything until we hear 5 or 10 wins from you as individuals. And it's weird because people are like, they have a hard time thinking of them at first. And then when they think of them, they're like, oh yeah, I'm proud of this. Oh yeah, I'm proud of that. Right. So we always start it with, or last night we started with, hey, what were 3 wins this week? Like, what were accomplishments? And it allowed us to reflect and be like, oh, that's right, this happened. Oh, that's right, that happened. Oh, that's right, this thing finally came true.
Like, I'm doing really big things in my business right now. And because it's just kind of like big thing after big thing, if I'm being completely honest, it can start to feel like stressful projects. And I would have dreamed I just did a massive photo shoot for our rebrand and new flavor launches. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to really sit in that and think of the day and what what that felt like and share with Chris about how that felt and what it was like and who was there and all of the things. And these are things that I just would have kind of like, oh my God, I'm tired. It's Friday. I'm exhausted. Like, when you're constantly busy, it's easy just to get caught up in the momentum of things.
More importantly, I wouldn't have known how awesome the photo shoot is. Guys, even though we live under the same roof, we don't see what each other's doing all week because we're so busy with our company. So I got to sit there and get like a play-by-play, like, oh my God, here's the first place we shot. And it was so cool. And look at some of it. And you pull out your phone. You're like, here, look how some of the photos turned out. And you're like, oh, here's the next place we shot. Oh, and we're in this celebrity's home. And I didn't realize that was her home until I was in the home and I remembered the pictures. And you're like, look at this, and all of a sudden it was exciting. I was like, felt like I was there with Lori and the models and the photographers and everything. Literally in the photo shoot.
Doesn't realize what he's saying, and it just sounds so funny.
Anyhow, it's so freaking cool because that was a big, expensive, awesome shoot. And we wouldn't have even talked about it as if it never happened if that wasn't one of her answers to, hey, what were one of your wins this week? So that was the first question.
Yep.
Second question that we pulled out was, what was a moment that you were really proud of yourself this week? And this is different than a win. This is like, when did you show up in a way that you were so proud? When did you overcome something? When did you pull out a win when it was headed for a loss? When did you keep your shit together when you were about to lose it? And so I love this question because it really makes the other person think, oh, when was I proud of how I showed up? And so, Lori asked me, I asked her. And for me, it was a leadership moment. And I won't get into the details, but I was like, oh, when this thing happened, instead of me flying off the handle or being negative or doing one of my do this or else type things, I showed up in a really cool way. I said, hey, you know what? I believe in you individuals. I believe you're going to figure this out. I believe this is going to turn out really, really freaking awesome. Here's a couple of ideas that I have, and here's a few reasons I believe that you are the people for the job.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned out really, really good. And the response, we got a different results because, right? So my answer to Lori is like, I was really proud of the way I showed up as a leader in this one particular moment this week. And then Lori had a cool one to share as well.
Impact moment as well. I also don't want to share details because it's people in our life, but it was like a really awesome moment of, wow, I'm at this point in life where I really get to make some really cool impact. And if I don't sit and notice it, it's like these things would just go by. And I want to really focus on the fact that I get to make impact on people.
Yep.
And that every day, no matter where we show up, somebody's watching. Somebody's watching. It was just kind of a moment of somebody saying something back to me of like learning from how I show up. And that is just a moment of, wow, this is so cool that I get to do this. And it made me want to be an even better person now to go, what's the type of just like legacy and impact that I want to leave? And I want to truly leave people better. I want to teach them how to make money, and I want to leave them better.
Yep. And then the third question, and this was kind of fun. It was, what was something that totally surprised you this week? And it's a great question because, a lot of times we talk about wins, or a lot of times we talk about something we're proud of, but to say, hey, what was a time this week that you were just straight up surprised? What surprised you this week? And that prompted 2 really good conversations.
With what surprised you this week, I had to dig really deep for that one. And I have to tell you, I actually had a realization when he asked me that question that I was like, oh gosh, I might need to kind of like do some more different things. I do a lot of, newer different things in my life, but I mean, I might have to do some more either challenging things or some things even further outside of my comfort zone so that I can be more surprised by experiences, or surprised at how I show up, or surprised at how I handle things. Because I realized I'm actually in a place where I do a lot. I'm getting very comfortable with the uncomfortable. And so I had a moment of, oh, crap. I have to go get uncomfortable in some places again somewhere.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but is also great.
Listen, that's the routine of life.
It's the routine.
If you're not constantly doing something that makes you uncomfortable, then you're falling behind and you don't realize it. It's the weirdest joke of life of all. Like, when you're sitting there like, hey, everything feels good, I'm not doing anything that's uncomfortable, you're actually slipping behind a little bit. And you just don't realize it yet. But when you're out there like, okay, what's the next uncomfortable step? What's the next uncomfortable conversation? What's the next uncomfortable, hire? What's the next most uncomfortable investment? What's the next? Then you're actually getting ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big believer in life. You're never staying the same, ever. There's no such thing as staying the same, even though it might feel like it just because you're zoomed in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're either falling behind and you don't know it, or maybe you do, or you're getting ahead, but there is no staying the same. Anyhow, that's a tangent. The 3 questions, try them out with your business partners, try them out with your friends, try them out with a significant other.
Try journaling them.
Yeah, it's an awesome weekly recap. What are 3 wins from the week? What was a time that you were surprised this week? And what was a moment that you were really proud of yourself this week?
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys have some cool ones, share them with us. We love when you DM us
questions.
Yeah, we love them. And don't forget to rush over chrisharder.me/weekend. I can't wait to see who gets the last spot to come to our home, be on our podcast, strategize for 2 days. Last chance this year.
And you guys send us voice note questions. Like, if you have questions, this is so crazy. We found out that a lot of people who were like, man, I wanted to come to our last one, but I was so intimidated. I'm like, oh my gosh, send us voice notes. We're like the least intimidating people in person, and we've gotten that feedback. And we're so welcoming. We want people to come into the house. Like, immediately, we're going to make you feel welcome. We're going to make you feel excited and comforted around the podcast. Literally everything. Like, send us voice notes so that we can answer any questions around maybe an obstacle that you have in your brain about, oh, I want to do that. But maybe you're telling yourself a story in your head. So let's answer it. We'll tell you if you're a fit or not. Like, we don't want you here if you're not a fit yet.
That'd be uncomfortable for us.
Yeah. If we can't help you or your business is not a fit, like, we actually don't want you here yet. That's for the future, but we'll for sure tell you. So shoot us some voice notes.
DM us. Okay. chrisharder.me/weekend. Thanks for listening. We love and appreciate you.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.